Hello and welcome back to the SKN Football Files, the highlight show breaking down the Premier League of the small Caribbean island of St Kitts and Nevis.
Today we look at the highlights for the St Kitts and Nevis Premier League match week 2. The opening game of the match, week 2, shows Connery facing off against New Boys Mantab. Bath United looking to extend their winning start to the season against Sandy Point. The tasty matchup of St Paul's versus Rams Village Superstars, and two teams looking for their first points of the season as Old Road take on Security, and the final matchup of the week showing K-On taking on St Peters.
Yeah, the first game of match week 2 shows New Boys Mantab, who have come off of a 5-2 defeat from the hands of Bath, facing a Connery team who breezed past another new club to the Premier Division, Security Forces, in their opening game. And from the off, Connery was looking to push on from last week's form with a darting runs down both flanks of the Mantab team early on. Connery did find themselves breaking free from the back line, bellowing through on goal. The Mantab defender scurrying back and completely taking out the Connery forward, leading to the referee pointing to the spot, and the penalty was awarded.
And as you have just seen there, Connery's Javan Matthew placed the ball cleanly into the right-hand side of the net to make it 1-0. However, Mantab have now conceded 2 penalties in as many games as they were pretty sloppy penalties to give away. Silly decisions in both Mantab games from the back line has probably made the game much harder than it needed to be for themselves, because if you look at the line of the ball, the player would have been in such a tight angle with the retreating defender, it would have actually been better to not draw in the foul and stand the player goal side.
Yeah, so the goal coming in that 12th minute for Connery, taking the lead. Mantab had chances themselves, and a lapse of judgment from the Connery keeper completely let Mantab back into the game. With a rather big error from the Connery keeper, the lead only lasted 3 minutes, and Chiari Jarvis probably couldn't believe his luck as a shot come cross could not be gathered by the Connery keeper, who just could not catch the ball, and it slipped through his hands and into the back of the net to equalise and make it 1-1.
Yeah, the goalkeeper will not want to watch that one back. It was a disaster from him there. All he needed to do was catch the ball, but soon after things got even worse for Connery, as a complete mess at the back led Jermaine Kerry to score Mantab's second goal in the match, and 5 minutes after Connery took the lead, they found themselves behind.
Another mess at the back and 2 big mistakes has cost Connery 2 goals there. I do understand what the keeper and defender were doing and trying to do to cut off the striker, for the keeper to collect the ball, but it was just very poorly executed. In those situations, and you're not sure if the keeper is going to get it, if he's not going to get it, especially after the goalkeeper's confidence may have taken a bit of a knock after that massive mistake just 3 minutes prior. Just smash it out for a corner. That is a much better decision than conceding a sloppy goal like that, or even just look over your shoulder, make sure you don't get the oncoming player goal side.
Yeah, Mantab now in the driving seat and managing to see the game out 2-1 until half time. Showed some really good game management, but Mantab could not contain Connery forever, and that showed in the 64th minute as another mistake led to a goal. A good cross came in from the Connery winger, to which the defender tried to clear the ball, but instead of clearing it, it just popped his foot out. The ball went high up in the air, and on hand was Caleb Bridgewater to volley the ball with a scuffed effort into the bottom left corner of the goal, and we were all square again at 2-2.
The teams were not level for long, and something that is brilliant to see and something that is taught across football is to defend from the front, which Connery did perfectly. The forwards pressed man-tab, and after managing to get the ball back from the man-tab back line, the ball went forward, and some great link-up play in the 68th minute found Jaden Duncan through on goal and able to place it over the keeper and into the back of the net to take back the lead and make it 3-2.
Connery then found their fifth goal, or fifth gear, and was looking to add their goal tally. Byron Phillips starting a brilliant bit of forward play for Connery, who linked up with the other Connery forward, and a quick 1-2 sent Phillips clear through on goal and made no mistake in extending their lead to 4-2 in the 74th minute, with Mantab claiming offside, which was never coming.
To round off Connery's performance, in comes Keedan Lewis to put the result to bed in the 87th minute after Connery winning the ball high up the pitch, and a great bit of play led Lewis to twist his body, smash the ball into the net to finish off the game and send Connery to a 5-2 win.
Connery did not make it easy for themselves at all after the two sloppy goals conceded in such a short amount of time, and having to work it back shows that this season is looking good for the team that struggled a bit last season.
Yeah, if Connery could stomp out those silly mistakes that led to both of Mantab's goals, they could be a good team this season. But what I am worried about is those mistakes being identified by stronger teams in the league.
Yeah.
Because if they concede, say, the two sloppy goals against Kaon, like, Kaon are going to identify them and they're going to shut up shop.
Rams as well, because Rams have scored lots of goals, haven't conceded a goal in just 2 games. I think they've scored 7, conceded 0 in their opening 2. So they're a team that aren't going to concede, but they will pounce on any mistake or anything that comes their way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mantab showing some signs of life there, being able to capitalise on those mistakes, and other than the first goal, didn't really make too many clear and obvious mistakes, but it is always hard when you go 1-0 down early on and to a penalty that could have been avoided as well. You do start to worry.
Yeah, unless Mantab start the match from the first minute instead of the 15th, you can see Mantab fans worrying about them staying in the league this season. But all eyes to the second game of the week as my team, Bath United, look to carry on their winning ways against the new boys, Sandy Point.
Yep, and it all started in the worst possible way for Bath United after a shot early in the first half that was spilled by the keeper, found Deacon Liddle to poke the ball home from close range. From what we remember, the goal was scored in the 8th or 9th minute and not the 89th minute, which is shown on the highlight.
Yeah, it was a bit of a frustrating goal to give away for Bath quite early on into the game. Frustrating because, as goalkeepers, you are taught if you can't keep hold of the ball, push it away from danger. Now, I think it may have just been an awkward ball coming in to save for the keeper. You couldn't really get the ball away from danger, leading to Liddy just managing to poke the ball home.
Yeah, and really that was the one bit of life that Sandy Point had throughout the whole game, really. They seemed to have the mindset of sitting back and defending the lead instead of going on for that second goal. Now, was that because Bath were the stronger team, or were they just content with the 1-0? We do not know. But it was fair to say Bath did not look like the same team from the opener against Mantab. They seemed slower to the ball, their passes seemed less precise, but they were growing into the game over time. And finally, in the 69th minute, they found their leveller. They were after, as Rocco Brown had a free kick on the edge of the box and a brilliant shot, sent the ball into the back of the net to level it at 1 goal each.
Then did fall to Bath. They were really banging on the door to find that winner, and Sandy Point were just trying to hold on for that draw at that point. Sandy Point's chances of finding that winner, though, were damaged even further, as their manager was shown a straight red card from the referee after what looked to be something shouted in her direction. So Sandy Point with more red cards than goals in their opening 2 games. Late on in the game, the pressure got too much for Sandy Point as a cross came in, and we've watched this goal back a dozen times and still do not understand what was going through the goalkeeper's mind. We don't really know how to describe it either, so maybe just watch it and make up your own mind on what happened.
And that mistake led Amani Williams to poke the ball home and give Bath a 2-1 lead, and the deciding goal in the 89th minute. Bath continue their upward push and sending Sandy Point rock bottom of the league.
Yeah, overall, not the best game for Bath, but most importantly, they came away with the win. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't amazing, but that don't matter if you win. You just train on those points during the week, and then you just go again next week.
Yeah, Sandy Point maybe a little frustrated with that loss after probably doing enough for a point, and the Sandy Point players showed their frustration after the match with some nasty scenes, and they maybe have a slight attitude problem.
Yeah, it's definitely not great to see that in 2 weeks in a row Sandy Point have had red cards, and the scenes after the game was pretty much uncalled for. You shake your opponent's hand and work on your game, because you can't blame anyone else but yourselves.
Yeah, we now look forward to the 3rd game, which took place Saturday evening as the 2 big boys were in action at as St Paul's and Rams Village Superstars went head to head.
Yeah, both teams came away with a win in their opening games of the season, so we were sure to be seeing a great match against the top 2 teams.
Yeah, the game started at a blistering pace for both teams, and St Paul's had the first opportunity to go in front from a corner. Rams, though, were having none of it, and with an explosion of pace launched a counter-attack, completely taking the St Paul's team off guard, and a great bit of link-up play found Kimari Rogers in space on the far right-hand side, and with an on-rushing keeper, managed to keep his cool and dink it over him into the back of the net to send the Rams in front.
Looking to control, but it's Village now, looking to break away. Samani Williams hitting that one upfield, finds Javon Amri. Javon on the inside to Samani. Samani to Joseph Fuchs. Hitting that one over. Kimari Rogers is in. Kimari Rogers chipping that one over, and it's into the back of the net. Village going up some 1-0 here. Going up 1-0 on the champion.
So, Rams go 1-0 up against last season's champions, and there were so many great chances for both teams over the game, with Kimari Rogers playing extremely well through the whole of the game. A great advert for the St Kitts and Nevis Premier League, but that was the only goal of the game, sending Rams top of the league.
Yeah, a quick one and done for the Rams there, but now we look to 2 teams that both lost their opening games of the season as Old Road Jets take on Security Forces in a battle to claim their first points of the season.
Yeah, so a little bit of a kick clash between the 2 teams really got us watching the game with our eyes close to the screen. And the match started out as you would expect from the 2 teams who haven't got any points yet this season. a little slow, a little scrappy, and it took us until additional time in the first half to see some action and a goal. As the second minute of injury time at the end of the first half saw a cross come in from the Old Road winger that was cleared horribly by Kareem Burrell, who sent the ball into the back of his own net, leading to a 1-0 scoreline for Old Road heading.
Yeah, a really, really unlucky goal to give away there. 99 times out of 100 it would go behind for a corner, but just some really, really bad luck for Burrell as it clipped the post and went in. It took until the 80th minute until we were able to see more goal action, as this time Old Road managed to find the net for themselves as a great through ball from the left-hand side of the pitch found DeQuan Hamilton, who managed to break through the back line of security forces and managed to squeeze it under the goalkeeper to make it 2-0.
He's out. Looks like another Spanish-speaking player. Here comes Old Road, looking to seal it to Hamilton. Hamilton was not up to the speed of the game, but he's taking his time and flicks this one past the goalkeeper, and it's in the back of the net. Now the Old Road fan.
And to put the final nail in the coffin, Old Road made it 3 in injury time with this shot from DeQuan Williams, who added to his tally for the night. And yeah, at this point you probably start to worry for security forces and the Premier League status, even though it is early days for the newly promoted side. They're really not looking like scoring in either game, other than in their own net. But currently sit on a -5 goal difference with 5 goals conceded and 0 goals scored. 0 goals scored in the right net.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, quite worrying for security forces. They need to start scoring goals and fast before other teams manage to start picking up points and momentum, as it could be a long season for the team. But moving on to the last matchup of this week's action, we see my team, SKN, take on St Peter's, who are looking for their first points of the season.
SKN, playing in their recognisable and beautiful kit, were in control of the game from the very first minute, as they had some brilliant chances to go ahead, the first of which being a great twist and turn from the winger on the right hand side, lofting across in and a little bit of fumbling around into the box, but could not find the back of the net. And St Peter's St Peter's managing to clear.
Yeah, it took us to midway through the second half to see some goal action, as a brilliant ball was played down the line for SKN, and a quick twist and turn from the winger managed to shrug off the St Peter's defender, and a ball coolly whipped into the box found Mervyn Lewis in the 63rd minute to leather the ball into the back of the net to make it 1-0.
SKN, after finding the back of the net once, managed to do it again 11 minutes later, after another through ball cutting the St Peter's defence like butter, opening up Vinceroy Nelson to lift the ball over the keeper and take a 2-0 commanding lead.
Yeah, and that was how the game finished. A resounding 2-0 win for the K-On, with St Peters wondering where it is all going wrong as they slip down the table and join security forces in the 0 goals scored after 2 games played.
Yeah, and with all the games being played in match week 2, we have a complete league table. So Village Superstars are currently holding the top spot in the league with 2 wins from 2, sitting pretty good with 6 points and a positive 7 goal difference. They have managed to play 180 minutes without conceding a goal. Connery and Bath occupy 2nd and 3rd with slightly worse goal difference, and K-On make up the list of the current undefeated teams in the league, but share the Village Superstars tally of no goals conceded. At the other end of the table, it is starting to look worrying for Sandy Point and Mantab, currently occupying the 2 relegation places with a -7 and a -6 goal difference. St Peters are currently occupying 8th, and last season's Super 4 team are already 6 points adrift and away from the pack, but share the exact same record as New Boy Security Forces, as both teams have lost all at their games and have not scored in both, and they have both conceded 5. Old Road occupy 6th and St Paul occupy 5th, as they both have 3 points on the board and sit in the middle ground between the top 4 and bottom 2.
Yeah, and now we can take a look at the match week 3 fixtures coming this weekend. To start off the week on Friday night, we have the battle of the best for the early stages of the season, as the league's 2 best defences go head to head as the Rams take on K-On. We have another tasty encounter as Bath put their 100% record at stake as they go against Connery, who also boast a 100% record. Security Forces will look to battle for their first points of the season against St Peters, who are also chasing for their first points. St Paul's going head-to-head with Sandy Point, and Mantab, who are also chasing their first points of the season, face off against Oldham Jets.
Yeah, all that, with all that being said and done, we hope you enjoyed the St Kitts and Nevis Football Files for match week 2, and we look forward to seeing you for match week 3.